Last night I watched the worst movie ever. It was called Shuttle. It was about these people who get picked up from the airport by an airport shuttle bus driven downtown, but instead of being driven to their destination, they are kidnapped, and some of them are eventually sold into the sex trade. Well, first of all, it's terrible. It's so terrible. How things happen is so annoying and cheesy, and it seems to be trying to create a series of exciting moments, and it'll just string those together in whatever awkward way happens to fit, and I would not recommend seeing it. It seems to have the message that people do these horrible things that they do for money, because, I mean, at least the people who were selling them into the sex trade and killing people, they were ultimately doing it for money. It was a profitable enterprise, and that's why they were in it. At least that's kind of the gist I got from the movie. They never really talked about sadism or, any kind of sociopathic tendencies that these people may have. And it really seems reminiscent of part of our culture. It seems to be that we almost believe that the reason these horrible things happen in the world is because of money. It's simply because of the pursuit of profit. It's these for-profit institutions. And that really makes no sense to me, because it's not just profit. It's pursuing profit and being able to be comfortable with stealing and killing, causing great amounts of suffering. Like, it's the same as when someone from some backwards, misogynistic culture says that the reason rape happens is because of sexual desires. Women are the problem, the fact that they don't cover up properly. They cause these sexual desires, and sexual desires are the reason that rape happens. But the determining factor isn't just sexual desire, because people live their lives with lots of sexual desire and not raping anybody. Like, the determining factor is whether or not you're actually willing to go through with that and cause that type of suffering. The determining factor is whether or not you actually desire that type of domination. And I think the discussion surrounding what causes this type of psychology is much more interesting. Like, talking about what causes people to want to pursue this type of control and domination and disregard for human life. Like, personally, I'm of the mindset that it's an act of normalizing. On the one hand, in your brain, you love people, you have this great connection with them because you believe you're the same, and you believe you should live in harmony and equality. But then you exist with people who aren't in that same mindset, and maybe they dominate you and they hurt you, and they take advantage of you. You have to reconcile that. That doesn't make sense in your brain, because on the one hand, you love people because they're the same as you, but then over here they're not. And in an attempt to find harmony in the self, I think we tend to act out these scenarios to try to find what makes sense. Like I think it's all just done in the pursuit of self-exploration. It's people lashing out of fear and misunderstanding. And I think it's really cool to think about, like, what causes people to do this. It's not because they want money or they want sex. It's because they want something a little bit different. It's power. It's control. It's the pursuit of trying to feel less powerless. I mean, that's ultimately why people crave power so much, is because they feel powerless. Whereas if you feel like you have power in your life, then you don't seek domination over others all the time. And I want to say one more thing about for-profit institutions, because people are always going on about how they are so bad and corrupt and cause so much suffering, but there's another side to things. Another word for for-profit institutions is economically viable institutions. Like the question of whether or not you make enough profit, this ultimately decides whether or not your institution can continue to function. Like, if your institution is not economically viable, then you don't have enough resources to buy fuel and all the other things that make your operation succeed in the future. Whatever you need. Maybe it's just bandwidth or whatever. But the point is, you have to have some sort of... You have to at least break even. If you don't have enough money, enough profit to continue your operations, then what you're proposing isn't really practical. So I think in that sense, profit is important. I don't think it's necessary to make more profit than what is necessary to continue to function as human beings. I don't think profit in and of itself is good, but profit does serve a function. Like, same with money. Money is very important in the marketplace. It allows us to make economic calculations and determine the worth of something relative to other goods and services. Without money, everything is far less efficient, and it's just one of those things that is so demonized, but it's so efficient. It's like telephones. Like, maybe telephones reduce face-to-face conversations with people, and in that sense it's dehumanizing or something, but in the long run, I think money and telephones and other such technology is profoundly beneficial to the human existence. So, yeah, go technology. Anyway, that was a very roundabout rant, but I think I said what I wanted to say, so peace.